Hello and welcome back to the Wild Wisdom Wellbeing guest slot with me, Robin Harris of Eco-Energy Wellbeing Naturally. And I am just bursting with excitement today. I've been waiting for this particular guest for, it feels like forever. I just have no patience with this because today we have Ruth McGrady, pet artist with us. And as you can see behind her there, some fabulous examples of her work. And when I first saw her work, I was completely and utterly blown away. And I have to say, I was on your website earlier today, just preparing for this guest slot, reading some of the bits and pieces that you've got there, and talking about how you capture the spirit and the character of the animal. And completely you do that, and how you hope that the owners of the animal will be able to look at the picture that you have painted and see their own pet looking out at them. Yeah. But even more so, it's like kind of you take the essence of their pet, condense it, and I don't know what you do with it, but you just kind of make them even more themselves. And also that you said you had 100% cry rate. I can just imagine if that was I love that guy. Just it's top left to me, or top right to me, looking at your image there. So is he the other one? Is he a sheepdog, Old English sheepdog or something?
Oh, that one. That's a cockapoo, that one.
Oh, cockapoo, right. Just all of that. You get the texture. You just want to stick your fingers in that hair and rummage and just give him a little
wooch,
on his head. So the fact that you can do that, I think, is just utterly amazing, which is why I'm so excited to have you here today. But if you maybe would start off, Ruth, by telling us a little bit about yourself and about what drew you to being an artist and a pet artist in particular.
Okay. So, Ruth McGrady, brought up in Bedfordshire. I have 2 children. One's 34 and the other one's 33. I had to think then, 33. They get past a certain age and you just forget.
Yeah, the numbers don't mean anything anymore.
Numbers don't mean anything. Yeah, numbers don't mean anything to me anymore. So it's just I apply it to everybody. I've always been artistic. My sister's an artist as well. Since I was knee high to a grasshopper, really. I had plenty of time to be artistic and musical as well, because I was brought up in 500 acres of woodland. So I had plenty of time to commune with the trees, the animals, and with myself as well. So I used to write a lot of poetry to go with the art that I produced. And I carried on painting and drawing and doing what I was doing until the kids went to school. And then I sort of got a proper job. And the art went out the window. I didn't do anything for years, 20 odd years to be precise. And then the universe, as it does, it said, use your talents. And I'm thinking, well, I'm using my talents. And I stood back and went, actually, you know what? I'm not. I haven't painted or drawn anything for a long time. And that was something that just I was awed by when I was younger. I'm thinking, okay, have I got art equipment around? So I was rummaging around in the attic, and I found some brushes that didn't look like squirrel tails, and found some paint, and I thought, okay, let's give this a go. So I did the painting. I'll show you what it is. Bear with me 1 second. So I did that. Oh, there we go.
Wow.
So I copied that photograph from a photographic book. I think it was the Wildlife Photographer of the Year. So that's not bad for 20 odd years. I was quite pleased with that.
Yeah.
And then the universe, as it does, you know how the universe works. It went, paint your friend's dog. So I went, okay, I'll paint my friend's dog. So I did. Bear in mind, I've never painted a dog before in my life up until that point. So I painted her dog. I put it outside her office door because I used to practice my karate classes up in the hall that she used to run. And I got a phone call saying, I've stopped crying now. I really love the painting of Jack. And so she posted up on Facebook. One of her friends liked it and said, Ruth, could you do me a painting? She posted that on Facebook, and then someone else said, And it went from there. I think, okay, universe, I've got the message now. So next network meeting, I went into Ruth McGrady, pet portrait artist, and it's just taken off from there. So this is taken off because I used to run I still do run a coaching business, but I do more painting than coaching. So that's how it came about. And the approach is, because when I meet animals, I want to connect with them deeply. Is that I'm thinking, well, you can do the same, because I don't always get to meet the animals. So it's, how could I do that? And it's meditative. What I do it is by meditating on the animal, by being with it, pretending I'm its owner, going through the routines, taking it for a walk, feeding times and stuff like that. And I let that infuse into my body. And then when I've got it, what I do is I take a piece of paper and I quickly sketch out on the paper what's inside me. And when that relates to what I see in a photograph, then I know that I'm ready to be in front of the canvas and just download everything. That was a bit long-winded, wasn't it?
No, that's exactly what the sort of thing that I was hoping that you would share, because I love the concept that you tune in, that it's almost like asking the animal, not just, I'm going to draw you because I'm going to draw you, paint you, represent you, but asking them, what is your life? Yeah. Share with me your life, share with me your experience of your life, which is probably why you capture the animal in its real essence, and you really do condense that and make it so, you know, if it was a flavor, it would be really, really strong. It's the intensity of the spirit and the character that you create, and the texture and the feel, and it is, and what you described as well was quite a visceral kinesthetic process. So evidently that's how you manage to put that on a piece of paper, you think, or canvas, you know, on a 2D surface, you put so much more.
Yeah, and it's just such a joy to do it, because you get into the zone. This is one thing that I love about art, is that you just, everything else just fades away, and you are just there with that sort of essence, that spirit essence, and the canvas and the paint, and it's a whole body thing, a whole mind, body, spirit thing that comes through, and you just zone out, and you get into that place of almost, it's a calm satisfaction, because you know that you're going to bring joy to someone by putting that I suppose that approach, that effort, that this is not an effort, it's fun in the work. It's words for it.
This is where language lets us down, doesn't it, really?
So it's putting everything, mind, body, soul, into what I'm doing, because, as you said, it's the connection with the animal. The animal has given me permission to paint them, to portray their spirit and their essence on paper, canvas, whatever it is that I'm using.
So it's a real portrait. Terrible pun, but it's a portrayal. It's not just a portrait, but a portrayal of the animal. In all of who they are.
Very much so.
I love also where you were talking about how you had done art and it had been so much a part of your childhood and your young years and growing up, and so absorbed you, and then, as life does, sends us off in another direction for 20 odd years, and then you came back to it. And that whole thing about the universe does, it gives us these prompts, and it, use your talents, use your skills, and using them to that fullness, you know, really allowing them to blossom. And was that for you like a fuller expression of who you really are, and a stepping into and an embracing of who you really are?
Yes, very much so, because many years ago I thought, right, okay, I am going to be an artist, but as I say, things happened and that went by the by. So having another opportunity, because I thought it gone at that point, I'm thinking I'm not going to be able to get back to that, and having that opportunity to do it again, and it's like, this time this isn't going away. This is staying with me, because this is an integral part of my makeup. And I think that to find that cohesion in yourself, that essence of yourself, because that is part of that essence. And to share that is to, people can see you for who you are. Yeah. So it is, this is me. This is part of what I do. There's more to me. I'm more, complex, as with everybody. But when we're honest about who we are, then people know how to interact with us. The universe knows how to interact with us, and we know how to interact with it. So when we know that something's out of kilter, we can do something about it. But if you're out of balance, then you don't know.
Absolutely. And I love that concept of congruence and of integrity. And to me, integrity means having all those things lined up so that my brain and my words and my thoughts and my actions and everything is all in the same, flowing in the same direction. Not one thing pulling one way and another thing pulling another way. And when we do that, everything lines up, because we come into a harmony, don't we? And then everything starts to kind of come into resonance with that, versus I'm in disharmony, and the universe doesn't then know, well, where are we together on this? Because you're going one way and one thing and another way and another thing. But when we can just, and that then to me gives us not only integrity in terms of a kind of an ethical integrity, but we have a structural integrity as well. Our life has a solidity and a solid form to it that's stable, rather than it's just kind of not knowing where it's going. And then it doesn't feel, we don't feel strong and balanced and stable, do we? We feel,
we're feeling fluxed at that point.
Yes. So being able to have all of those things and feel, yes, I'm doing what I am here to do. I'm really exploring and maximizing, optimizing the gifts that I have, my unique gifts, celebrating those.
And it brings me joy, but it brings the owner's joy as well, whether the pet is still living or the pet has passed. The food, you see people, they come and collect their paintings. I had one chap come along with his wife, and it was a surprise painting for him. The dog had passed many, many years ago, and I must admit I had a really bad photograph to work with, so I had my task cut out for me for that one. But he walked in, and I thought, oh, he doesn't seem very happy. And I was looking at the wife, and she said, it's fine. So anyway, they went on. Said they wanted a few bits and pieces changed with the background, the colour. So they went off, and then he came back, and he said, I wasn't being funny. He said I was so choked at seeing the painting that I just couldn't say anything, and I daren't say anything. He said, because I would have just burst into tears. I don't know whether whether I would be able to stop. So it's heartwarming. It is heartwarming that I can I can share my talents, when sharing that brings people joy.
And it just shines out of you that you feel that to that depth, and you feel that joy, and you feel that like you were saying earlier about just getting into the zone and just feeling that sense of calm and that sense of knowing I am where I am meant to be. I'm doing the thing that is my gift. And to me, that makes me think of the concept of mindfulness, but even further than that, and I call it beingfulness, where everything is just as it's meant to be, resonating with the right resonance and in that sense of harmony.
Very much so. Yeah, it's that vibration, that connection. It permeates everything. Yeah, it's this. In you going to like quantum physics, you got that entanglement. So everything that you make contact with, you have got a connection with. Yeah. And no matter how far that goes away, it's there. Yeah.
Forever, at whatever distance in terms of geographical distance or distance in terms of time, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It is still there. Yeah. It's like you haven't seen a friend for ages and ages and ages, and then you for years, and you make contact with them again, and it's like nothing has changed.
No
because
time
that
has
connection is
passed.
still there. Yeah.
Yeah. You're just right back where you always were.
Yes.
It's so magical, isn't it?
It is. To have that is, yeah, it is very, very, it's I suppose, it fills the soul, I suppose, in a
Yes,
way.
yes.
Yeah.
Fills, nourishes, and nurtures the soul.
Yes, definitely. Very much so.
So you've got some wonderful examples of dog pictures there behind you. Do
Yes.
you do other kinds of paintings as well?
I do. Bear with me. Let me get some. We have people. I do people. So one day I will be on Portrait Artist of the Year. I keep missing the deadlines because I'm painting dogs. But
That you
Portrait
have to
Artist,
expand it to include dog portraits.
yeah. So Portrait of the Artist of the Year, they did a paint along on a Sunday. So as with the TV series, you have 4 hours in which to do a painting. So I thought, I like a challenge. I'll give this a go. Now, bear in mind that I never sort of, the only people that I personally used to paint was me. I used to do practice doing self portraits. So I did this. So this is Ashram Khan. Oh, hang on, it's good. Wait. There you go. He's a choreographer. He was the first person that they had on there. So I painted him. It's hard to get the angle right on this. There we go.
Really difficult. And I because it's back to front as well, you don't know which way to go to get it more in shot. But I've noticed as well when you're painting people, animals, it's the eyes really, isn't it? When you can capture the eyes, they really are the windows of the soul. You really can look at that head, whether it's dog, cat, I see you have behind you as well, or a person, you really go, yes, I can, if I know the animal, I can recognize them. If I don't know the animal, I can really get a sense of who they are.
Yeah. So that's the magic triangle. So once you've got the magic triangle, the eyes, nose, and mouth, that's it. You've got that character, and then the rest of it falls in behind it, I suppose. Yeah, it just expands out from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's how to bring those eyes to life, because you can see some paintings that are drawn and they're just flat. You don't see life in the eyes, because there's something very special, isn't there, about the life force, the way it does, and somebody's character that and the spirit, which is exactly what you're talking about on your website that you capture. Yeah. But there's something very, very magical and elemental almost about capturing that and being able to have people see it as a living thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It goes beyond technique. Because you can learn how to do the eyes, but it's that having that connection. So when you look into someone's eyes, what's that coming across? If you're feeling it, then you can transfer it.
Yeah, that thing that's more than just, like you say, more than the skill, more than something you can learn. Yeah, it is something that you feel on an emotional level, on a physical level.
You do, because that's how it is that whole body, mind, spirit thing that comes out. And usually when you meet people, that you make a connection. That connection some people you come across, it's just that instant, I've known you from somewhere else type of feeling. And you do come across people where you go, but again, there's a connection there, but it's asking the question of why did you go, with that person, and understanding it, because it's triggered something in you. So it's given you an opportunity to explore another part of you.
Yeah. And it's really trusting our instincts, I think, because if you have a feel of connection as soon as you meet somebody, there is something in that. Equally, if you feel a sense of, I'm not sure about this person. Yeah. Because they're two opposite, but two strong reactions. It's not just a neutral. Yeah. So definitely.
Yeah, it's one of the things in the karate that I do, is that you have to make a connection, because when you make that connection, you're picking up lots of information. Because if you've waited until someone moves, that's too late.
You don't know which way they're going to go.
Well, no, it's you've been hit at that point, so you need to be with them before that point. So you have to connect with them on a spiritual level, so you understand. You pick up that information, that energy information that's coming towards you, so you know when they're going to move. You know roughly where they're going to. You pick up its instinct, and I think our instinct has been suppressed to a certain extent. It's not like animals, a cat or a dog, or that their instincts have just honed straight in, and ours have been suppressed a little bit. And the only time that they really come out is when you drop a knife and you move your foot quickly. Yeah, so
it's when the survival instinct takes over.
Yeah,
versus our rationalizing, analytical aspect.
So once you've got that, we tune back into that instinct and we learn to trust that instinct, then that gives us another level to work with. And that instinct is, as you say, it's that trust. You trust yourself to be yourself. That gives you more confidence to be with other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the opposite to what we're taught, isn't it, by society, where we're conditioned and we're told that you do things a certain way, and your gut feelings are not something to be relied on because they're a bit iffy, versus actually that's my best way of judging what is right for me, because that is my guidance system. And to know that the energy that you were talking about in the martial arts, it's real. Our energy really is going out there like radar, going, who are you?
Yeah.
Is this a safe connection for me? Is it not a safe connection for me? Does it resonate and gel, or do I think, no, I want to hold back?
Yeah. That's a very powerful tool to have.
Hugely.
To tap into that. And I think because we feel it in our gut first, and then into our heart, then it's what goes into our head. And you think that our heart has as many neurons as our head does, and our heart doesn't forget.
No. And there's much more electromagnetic activity in the heart than there is in the brain. And if you think as well, the gut, they're now knowing, they've now proven, science is catching up with what we knew all along, that the gut, there are like the three brains, the heart brain, the gut brain, and the head brain. And the gut brain is huge. All of the interconnections that we've actually got there, and how it connects with the vagus brain and goes to the head brain, the vagus nerve, and goes to the head brain. And that there's much more information going that way than there is going that way. Yeah. Up from the gut versus down from the head. It's just, I love all of this stuff. It just makes my mind go, whoa, blows my brain, but in a wonderful way.
Yeah, it just takes you into a different dimension. You're thinking, oh, wow, okay, what can we do with this? Yeah, how can we blend with this? How we can use this, work with it to make ourselves better. And what's around us better. Yeah. So we look into that interconnectedness again and sharing.
Absolutely. And I think it's a shame in many ways that our conditioning often tells us that we shouldn't trust it. And so we start to work against it. We start to resist it. And to me, resistance is at the root cause of so much of the issues and challenges that we have in our lives, versus when we can, like you say, learn to tune in, learn to trust, learn to work with, we get so much more. And I talk about feeling our way from stress into flow. We get more into that flow. And we realize that the universe is here to support us, and it actually brings us so much, and it's full of abundance, and it's a positive thing. It's not a thing to resist and to fight back against and to be cautious of and wary of, and all of these things that we have in our heads.
So I think any thing that you do that can take you to that or guide you to that is invaluable. It really is. Whether it's martial arts, whether it's painting, whether it's singing, or writing.
Yeah.
Give it a go. Use it as, your boat. It's going to take you on a nice little journey to somewhere that you may have touched on, you may not have been to before. Just, go and take a holiday there. See what it's like. And if you like it, just go back.
And there are probably as many different ways as there are people, well, nuances. There will be similarities, but as many different nuances as there are people, because we're each so individual and unique.
Yeah.
And my wild in the wild wisdom, you can see there, is
Yeah.
capitalized because it actually stands for my 4 different pillars. But the first one is wonder. So that wonder at all of these things, wonder at nature, wonder at our own nature, and how amazing we really are when we just can really look and appreciate and celebrate all that we are.
Definitely, because it's we are wondrous beings. The things I don't think we reach our full capability. I think there's so much in there that we it's finding out how to access it all, I suppose, is a way. And it is appealing in a way those layers by doing different things, getting into that zone and just exploring, going into the different universes within ourselves.
I love that. And I love the concept of exploring, that's all it is. It's an adventure, it's an exploration. It's not a right or wrong. There's no set of tick boxes. Have you managed to achieve this, this, and this? It's just, no, do what you love, do what you enjoy, do what lights you up, and let that take you on your own journey like a child, because a child is like a sponge. And when they have an interest of their own, rather than we tell them, because it's, you know what it's like at school, you must read this book. No, thank you. But if I was just looking in a library myself, I might pick that book up and enjoy it. But because I know I'm reading it for an exam and I'm going to have to write essays on it and all of these things that are dictated, versus just, oh, I'm interested in this, but that's led me on to this. And particularly for me, it's the natural world. So I might look at something and think, oh, that's really interesting. Even just here in where we are, because we've got horses, there's quite a lot of manure that I need to collect. And there are dung beetles in that manure. So you might think, oh, little black dung beetle, not very interesting. But they have a habit of rolling over onto their backs. And then you see the iridescent colours, the purples and the blues and the greens. And it just leads me on to lots of things like, oh, I wonder what their life cycle is like. And I wonder what they do when they've got their manure, where do they go with it? And you see a little hole in the ground. Oh, that's interesting. And it just leads you on and on and on to more questions. So like you were saying about exploring, and we have so much to learn about ourselves, and probably maybe even more than we can do in this lifetime.
Yeah.
But to me, that's every day's school day. I never will get bored, because I will always have something new and exciting and wonderful to learn about myself.
Yeah, that's it. That mindfulness about everything. So you can like travel through life and go, oh yeah, okay, that's happened. But, or there's a tree, there's a flower. But when you stop and look at it, and it's in the painting classes, you say, right, there's a yellow flower. You've picked it, or you're in front of it, paint the flower, and they just yellow. Thinking, do you not see the other colours in there? Yeah. There's a bit of orange, there's a bit of red, there's a bit of green in there. Really, really absorb yourself and look at what's there. And it's the same with everything around us. It's that mindfulness. Walk through life with mindfulness.
And that's the thing, isn't it? We don't really look. We don't see. Maybe we're looking, glancing, but not really seeing, which is another thing of what you do, that you really, really see. It's like, I love the concept which was used in Avatar, and a lot of native peoples do. Instead of saying hello, they say, I see you. And you can just know that's an I see you right into your very being.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love that.
And I find that with animals. And that's, I think, what drew me to animals. And I do a bit of animal communication and that sort of thing. So just when you get even just a photograph, you can look at a photograph and feel, just absorb into the photograph. You can almost feel the animal looking, which is what you get in the eyes that you do, that where you really get that connection from a 2D thing that feels like it's the animal right there in front of you.
Yeah.
That you just, I feel it just right down to my gut. It's like that excited clenching of muscles in my gut.
Yeah, it's a privilege, isn't it? to connect that deeply, and have that ability to well, we can all connect, but it's as you say, seeing it, it's feeling it. In my language, it's and it's connecting to that wholeness, the greater picture,
The
the bigger
oneness.
picture, the oneness of everything. Yeah.
And I think in that, it's a kind of a recognition and a being recognized that kind of you are I, but in an other.
Yeah.
That namaste, aloha kind of concept.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm amazed now. I mean, do you think years ago, you walk down the street and people go, hello, hello, hello. You walk along the street now, you say hello to someone, they think you got 6 heads. And I think that's a shame because people are shutting themselves out from different experiences. Yeah. Because why would you not recognize another human being? Why would you not recognize, a dog that's come up to you? We're all together on this planet. Yeah. So recognize people, say hello. This seems to be common sense to me, but it's
Absolutely. And it's one of the things that I love, having moved to Wales, where you get that again. I grew up in Ireland, which is a much more kind of community-based culture, whereas English culture is much more individualistic. And that's just what it is. It's not right or wrong. It's just what it is. But moving to Wales, where it is certainly where we are, it's much more that hello, 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 hello. Nice to, who are you? I don't know you, but yay, lovely.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a step closer to my home, and certainly to where I feel at home.
Yes.
It's Celts. I'm convinced it's Celts.
Yeah.
So I'm from Ireland. I've moved to another Celtic country. I feel much better. But there is something about that connection and recognition, and it kind of the idea as well that we don't do that in the ways that maybe we used to. And why? To me, it often comes down to a sense of fear and mistrust. And I'd love to find a way where that is no longer needed, where we no longer need that armor, and no longer need to turn down the sensitivities in order to get through our days because they're so busy and so loud. When we can take that off, so then we can open up to see people and have that recognition, because we're kind of walking around like blinkered because we can't. There's something, in that kind of capacity. Our capacity is so full already. I can't cope with any more. Whereas if I could take that off and just not need it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be so nice, I think, for everybody. I think, there would be probably less trauma in the world if people got on and said hello and understood and took time to understand the other person and where they're coming from.
Yeah, and that's all we need to do. Because if you are just another, rather than us and them, me and other, if you were just another me, kind of another human being or another being, another life walking around on this planet, we all share, we're all interconnected. Whatever happens to you is going to impact on me.
Yeah.
It actually literally is. It's not even just an energetic woo-woo thing. It literally is. So can we get back to what we share rather than and just celebrate our differences as the richness of life?
Yeah, it'd be nice to for that to happen. And at some point, I'm hopeful that we will get to that point. Yeah.
I think one of the positives of the pandemic is that it's helped us to realize that we share so much. And that concept that people have talked about, that we may be in different boats, but we're in the same storm. That actually we have more in common than we have of difference.
I think the community thing is Grayson's Art Club in lockdown. The number of people who were tuned into that. But also I'm a member on the Facebook group, and the people on there, the comments on there, we haven't paid anything to when we were kids, and they're producing these fantastic pieces of art, and you're thinking it's taken something really horrible to bring out something really good. And it's nice to see people expressing themselves.
And sometimes we are at our best in the tough times.
Yeah.
Because it really challenges us, I guess, to dig deep, to tune in and connect with that depth of who we are.
And I think also we've had that time.
Yes.
Yeah, because haven't been able, the majority of people have not been able to go into work. They're at home. Well, what are we going to do? We've done all the DIY jobs.
Clean the house 100 times.
Yeah. What else are we going to do? So let's sit back and do some painting, perhaps do some writing, create some music. The number of podcasts apparently that have gone up since the lockdown. Yeah, because
and
people
definitely music.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people just singing or playing an instrument and sharing that.
Yeah, and people putting stuff on TikTok, funny stuff on TikTok. Just let's make people smile. Let's go for it, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, that creativity.
Yeah, it's like being in someone's living room and you go, you've gone around there for dinner or nibbles or something like that, and you've gone, right, okay, let's do this, and it's almost like being in their living room.
Yeah, when you get the party games out.
Yeah, and I think that's a nice. This is like community. Is it like a little aspect of community, like the Grayson's Art Club and people on the community?
And it's been wonderful that we've had social media and electronics, Zoom and whatever, to connect in that way.
Yeah, because it's kept those links open. Yeah.
Hopefully it's made it easier for the social aspect when we can start getting back to that again.
Yes, it's nice to see people face to face, be able to hug people as well.
Yes, we'll appreciate that more, won't we, when we get back to that?
Yes. Very much so. It's like the workshop. I'm so looking forward to having people into the workshops face to face. Yeah.
So share a little bit about what your workshops offer.
Well, the workshops and retreats. So the workshops are learn to paint your dog and learn to paint your cat. So it doesn't matter whether you can paint or draw, because I take you through easy to follow steps. So bear with me 1 second. Mm-hmm. So you'll hopefully create something. There we go. Something like that. And that's just working with shade.
Yes, I love how you can do that and just create something from shading.
Yeah. So you'll learn to do that. And I will do one of those workshops with a cat as well.
Yes, just in case anybody's listening on a podcast, because this will go out as a podcast as well later. That was a beautiful picture of a dog. head of a dog.
Head of a dog, yeah. And then the retreats. The first retreat that we've got of the year is on the 10th of July. And that's the creative and healing power of trees.
Perfect.
So, that's going to be just down the road from me at Highway Hill Glamping. And they've got a wood out there. They've got 100 acres of field, woods, everything. So we'll be up in the woods for quite a while, communing with the trees, hugging the trees. And that particular day is all about expression. It's you got that safe space in order to connect with the trees, connect with the healing of yourself, whatever's in there, and then express that. So whatever comes out. Yeah, it means something to you. The colors, the shapes, textures. You can paint, you can draw, you can sculpt, you can write. Yeah, or you can do a collaboration with someone if you wanted to on the day. And you've got from 10 until 4 to do that. There's meditations in there. There's a whole load of stuff that makes it just a space that is safe, as I said, to express yourself and to feel that satisfaction and know how you get the steps to actually get there, so you can reconnect with it again the next day, then the next day, then the next day. And the more that you reconnect with that, if you're a little bit worried about, being out there and saying what you think, it will help you get to that place where you can do that. And that brings us up where we started at the beginning, is it's when people know you, they can see you, then they better understand with you, you better connect. And that's what it's all about, is that connection, that wholeness, connecting with you, connecting with other people, having that confidence and that belief to just go solid to everything, or to people who may say, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, actually I can, because I'm going to take that space. I know how to make that connection. The answers are coming to me. I've asked a question of what I want. The answers are coming to me. It will be presented.
And we worry about how people perceive us sometimes, or are we saying the right thing, or can I really be myself? But when you put it like that, you help to see that actually it's easier, because I don't need to worry about all these things. I don't have to second guess. And my gut will tell me how it's being received as well. Not that I need to change it, but that I can help the person to understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because if I'm saying it from a sense of, how are you receiving this? Am I saying it the right way? I'm trying to second guess. It's maybe not coming out with such clarity as if I can just be in my own energy and my own truth and just say it.
Yeah. And that's liberating.
Absolutely.
And it just reduces the anxiety as well, because, as you say, you're not second guessing yourself. Yeah, you may be sort of like searching for the words to express what you're feeling, but that's completely different from being, I don't say anything. Yeah. And it's, I think social media has a big part to play in people feeling like that these days. So again, it's being able to go, okay, I choose what I want to put up there. And if people like it, they like it. If they don't like it, they don't like it. As long as you're not being rude, you're not harming anybody. Yeah. It's that sense of proportion.
And I think when we can come from who we truly are, we're not trying to be rude or anything like that. And there are ways of learning how to express ourselves in an open and honest way that is also just, this is my perception. I'm not trying to convince you of it. I'm just putting that out there and inviting you to do the same. And then we can start looking at, what have you got? What have I got? What's similar?
Yes.
Where do we see things in a similar way? Where do you see something different? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And it's that asking those questions, you find out more. You think children, they go, how does this work? What does this do? Where does this come from? And they're constantly asking questions because they're like sponges. And I think as we get older, we don't necessarily keep that going.
But we're often told, stop asking questions, stop being so nosy.
Yeah.
Sit down and do, at school it would be sit down and do what I've told you to do.
Yeah.
This is the task for today, do that.
Yeah. And we need to ask those questions. They keep asking, well, how does this work? It's like the dung beetles you said about they flip themselves. Well, you start sort of like, where does this happen? Why does that happen? What is it? And it just takes you through onto different things. This is how we learn. And it's important to keep that going. Because if we stop learning, where does it take us?
Yeah, where do we go?
Yeah. So having that learning, every day is a learning day. Ask a question. Yeah.
And just asking it when we can ask questions like a child. So there's no judgment in it. There's no criticism in it. It's just, actually, I'd really love to know.
Yeah.
So openness and curiosity.
Yeah. And I think kids, there's so much to learn from kids as well. I mean, when they create things and they don't give a monkeys about what people think. They go, oh, we're going to scribble this. You hope they don't scribble on the wall or the furniture.
Yeah.
But they create something and go, oh, okay. And then they move on to the next thing. Yeah. and you put it up on the fridge or on the wall or something like that, so they can see it. So you recognise, that what they've done. But is that creating from that place of innocence, that place of, yeah, I'm going to do this because it's for me. I don't care whether anybody likes it or not. It's for me. And that's not a selfish thing. That is, I think, is an essential thing, is that we do stuff for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think that in doing stuff for us like that, we give permission to everybody else.
We do.
That you do this too. And we can all do this together.
Yeah.
And then we can see what we create.
Yeah. And it's also that if you're creating something, is that it may spark something in someone else to do something. As you say, give them that permission. So it's valuable that we do, like, do stuff, we express ourselves, and we show it. Yeah. So, doing one of these, I put putting these up on Facebook. I had a lady contact me, said, I paint dogs. She said, but I don't know how to do fur. Could you teach me how to do fur? So yeah, I can teach you how to do fur. So I'm doing, because I love teaching and sharing my talent. But it means that she's got another skill that she'll produce something, and that will inspire someone else to do something else. She may not know that it may inspire someone. I may have done stuff that's inspired people, but I may not know. But you don't do it to inspire someone. You do it because it's, it's part of you. You do it.
It's what you do. It's what you love. But that's also part of the inspiration, I think, because people see you doing it with that energy, drive, enthusiasm, joy, love. And that's the inspirational thing, as much as that, oh, that's a great talent, I love what you've done there. But it's watching you do it in the way that you do it as well, I think.
Yeah.
Because we take what we think is going to make us feel better, don't we? That's how we buy, that's how we choose, that's how we decide things. So if I look at you doing something and see that you're just lit up by doing it, I'm going to think, I wonder if that might work for me.
Yeah.
Or I like the way you've done that. Maybe that's going to help me.
Yeah.
To feel that.
Yeah. Because we can feel, but we can also model other people and pick up that skill. And then we add that to ourselves. So when you're doing, artists who may be watching this or listening to this, is that when you sort of like doing I did for my A-level art, but for your art degrees as well, is you copy the masters. So you understand how they do the brushstrokes. And then you're developing that into your own thing. Yeah. So you're taking that knowledge, you blended with that knowledge, and then that's blending into your stuff. And then someone else may blend into that as well.
And that's how things grow, isn't it? And I love the idea that we learn something, almost we learn it, rote isn't the right way, but not the word I'm looking for, but we learn a procedure.
Yeah.
And it's like learning to drive, mirror, signal, maneuver. It's only then when we're kind of given permission, said, yes, you've passed your test, off you go and drive now, that we really learn, that we really start to express our own way. Yeah. So I know how I drive and what feels right for me, or painting or writing or whatever I'm doing. I find my way. I learn how to do it, but then I really learn.
Yeah.
I really begin to express myself through it.
Yeah. It's, as you say, you pass your test and then you learn to drive. And that's it, the next bit to the excitement, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Suddenly you get that freedom, that sense of freedom that we were talking about earlier.
And you do learn. I mean, there's problem solved. These, some people think that I probably get my nose and just go, and it's done. You come across problems. The canvas may not work. The paint may go sticky. Mm-hmm. So there's a problem solving in there as well. So you're learning and adapting and using the mediums. I had it's a lady that I went to learn some impressionist painting, and I showed her the painting, one of the paintings of the dogs, and the one I showed of the cow. And she said, "What medium did you use on that?" I went, "Acrylic." She said, "How did you get that blending with acrylic? You shouldn't be able to do that."
Nobody told me I shouldn't be able to do it.
Precisely. You just, don't necessarily conform to the push the boundaries. Think big. Yeah. Yeah. So that positive, there's a thing that I do in karate where it's you to show how quickly your body changes, the energy changes. So if you have your arm out, I'll see if I can do this, demonstrate this, and talk about it for people on podcast. So if you think at the end of your hand is the end of your target, what happens is someone can push your arm down. Yeah, there will be a connection because it's not strong out. So if you think beyond where you need to go, it makes your arm like an iron bar, so they can't push down on it. That's just by one thought and extending that energy. So if you think about your thoughts and what you're doing, so if you think beyond where you need to go, it changes your physiology. It makes you stronger.
And my mum, I used to ride when I was a child. My mum always used to say, don't think of the jump. Think of yourself on the other side of the jump. Because if you don't, then you probably will get as far as the jump and no further. Because the horse will refuse and you'll fall off or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I proved her right on several occasions. But it really does make you think. And kinesiology, I love kinesiology, how our body really knows. And you can use muscle testing and things like that. So our bodies hold so much of what we think and our beliefs. And that's something I use in my well-being work as well.
Yeah.
So kind of linking on from thoughts and beliefs, Mental Health Awareness Week being so much a part of nature.
Yes.
The theme being nature and nature being so much a part of our well-being, do you find yourself that when you're in your art and you're working with nature or being out in the trees and running your workshops and things, is that a part of what you're kind of exploring and addressing there?
It is, because 15 minutes out in nature and you really absorb it, it just brings everything down. You start calming down. Your nervous system goes, oh, okay, this is how I'm meant to be, is it? And it makes such a difference because you have that clarity then. You haven't got that white noise going on in your head. And if you've got that constant white noise, you don't have time to think, which means your stress levels go up and your body starts going, we don't like this, and it starts rebelling against you. And then you start changing, and then everything else around you, and it just goes into this horrible little mess. So if you take that time out in spending nature, even if it's 15 minutes, where you're breathing, and that's another thing, is that breathing correctly. So your belly breathing. If you're breathing, your shoulders are coming up, that's a shallow breath. That's not good for you. It keeps you alive, but it's not good for you. So if you're breathing, belly
it sends
breathing,
a feedback loop to just perpetuate that, and you just build more and more of a sense of panic. So you breathe more from the top of your chest,
yeah, precisely.
Versus if you're already breathing here and starting to panic, breathing from the belly will just say to your body, it's okay.
Yeah,
I'm safe.
Yeah.
And so your breath naturally slows down, deepens.
Yes. And that makes, as you know, it makes such a huge difference because you are calming down. And when you're calm, the more relaxed you are, the more effective you are, the better your energy flow through your body, the better the information comes in, and the better the information flows back out again. So that is hugely beneficial for your mental health and your well-being. And when you're painting, it's or doing something you can absorb yourself in. It could be the music, it could be the writing. Is that, again, you're disconnected. You're going into that zone. It's almost like a meditative zone that you go into. Well, it isn't almost like, it is a meditative zone that you go into. And again, that is a place where you can go, okay, this is me. This is who I am. And I can just do what I want to do because I know that that's going to be good for me.
And it can kind of bypass the inner critic and the analytical brain to just, no, I'm here and I'm enjoying it. Just, you can keep quiet for the moment.
Yeah.
And then there's no judgment. And if we can suspend that and just enjoy. I love words and playing with words. So enjoy, just meaning bring joy into. Experience joy in that moment.
Yeah. And the more joy we have, the happier we are, the more satisfied we are. Yeah, the more joy we have, the more satisfied we are. Yes. Yeah. And we're attracting it, more of it, which is a good thing. Yeah.
Definitely. So for those who are watching or listening, where can they connect with you? How can they find out more about the work that you know, the paintings that you do for people, but also about your workshops, all that you offer?
They can pop along to the website, which is www.ruthmcgradypetartist.co.uk. There's information about the paintings and information about the workshops and the retreats on there as well. Or if they want to drop me an email, they can grab hold of me at ruthmcgrady@hotmail.co.uk.
Excellent, wonderful. So thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest and bringing along some of your beautiful characters and the other work that you've done as well, the ones that you shared with us today. That's been brilliant.
Thank you.
And if anybody watching or listening is interested in animals and connection with nature and all that nature offers us, I have a new cwtch. So cwtch being the Welsh word for hug or cuddle, but meaning so much more than that. Really, it's how to put your arms around yourself and make yourself feel safe in the world. That's how I use it for my events. If you're interested in wildlife and how that can be used as a cwtch, then join me on my it's on a specific group, and I'll share the link, and it's running from the 23rd to the 30th of May, and it's sharing a guided meditation each day. Just watch out for some more posts on that. So thank you again, Ruth, for being such a wonderful guest and all that you've shared. And
thank you very much.
Thank you all for watching, and if you have any comments, just stick them in with #replay, and either Ruth or myself will be very glad to get back to you. Bye for now.